Look, my father worked for the Dorello family before the Briarwoods came. My father vanished the night of their fall. My mother was taken in madness and lost to the night this past year. I was left alone. However, I knew the roads well between here and Whitestone and places between growing up, travelling with my father. So I was made to be a coachman for the new nobles. I was paid, albeit little, and I was left alone. Now, when I say the new nobles, there were nobles that lived in Whitestone that worked along with the Dorellos, and they helped oversee parts of the town and the business and the people, and they had been there for many generations of their respective families, all under the Dorellos' guidance. The night the castle fell, those nobles were dragged out. It's strange. I mean, after the brutality of that first night, it took days before the people of Whitestone knew what had happened. And we saw the fires, we heard the battles, but no word of the victors until 3 days had passed. We were too scared to approach. By then, the Briarwoods called a town meeting. They explained their new rule over the town. A number objected, which is expected. Any strong-willed folk in Whitestone those days. And they were subsequently shot down at Arrow Point. The rest were quiet. They then dragged out the noble families and executed them, gifting their property and titles to the various cutthroats and mercenaries they had hired, brought across the channel to help them take the town. They're not just two people. They've used a lot of money and influence from wherever they came from, and brought with them a whole slew of very dastardly and immoral folk, who have since been given the titles that was once held by the other nobles of Whitestone, living in their homes, taking their tithes and most of the profits made from the businesses they've now forced us to continue to run from within the city. A number of families fled into the woods at night after the executions, using the shadows of a moonless evening to keep safe. And they were all found hanging from the sun tree the next morning. They kept things going as they were, mostly farming, logging, manning the white marble mines. The business went as usual, all filling the pockets of the new nobles in the Briarwoods, and we were given food, kept our immediate property, and as long as we didn't attempt to leave, we were promised safety. That lasted for a few years, until the nobles grew bored, or twitchy. They began to abuse the people of Whitestone, scare us for fun, brand, cut, steal the children, leave them back destroyed. They treat us like animals. Folks went missing. I was beaten so bad by my employer, Count Tyleri. But Lord Briarwood noticed one night he was passing through the city. He saw wounds on my back when he was meeting with Count Tyleri. When he asked me in private how I got them, I couldn't lie. Couldn't resist him. He has a way of just drawing the truth out of you. Now he told me this unrefined violence was boorish to him and his wife, and that was the last I ever saw of Lord Tyleri. Lord and Lady Briarwood took me in as their own driver and showed me Tyleri hanging from that same sun tree the next morning. I was thankful then. In a strange way, life had been so terrible for so long. It was the first time I saw someone reach out and save me. They took me in as the driver after that. It's a better thing to be away from the anger and the fists of the thugs. But the more I got to know the Briarwoods, the more nightmarish I realized they were. Behind the walls of that castle was no longer a grand fortress that we heard was. Seeing it, keeping watch and guard over a people. No, that was a domain of perverse magics and sacrilege. It was. The green fog drifting out from the ground where it stood. The same servants still run the halls, but they aren't living. They're walking vessels of undeath. Their flesh slowly tearing away. The garden in back lies shriveled, a foul green mist forever pouring out. They're excavating something in the dungeon, plundering pieces. A lot of their attention seems to be down there. I don't know why. But they're not wander too far down. They bring up old things, ancient things, relics, books, bones. You live in that world long enough, you believe there is no way out. Death would be easy. But I've seen that death has no real end there. And it's just the beginning of a whole new terrible existence. Far worse fate.